Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Bible in a Year with Lovie, day 220. I'm reading the Life Application Study Bible, 3rd edition, New Living Translation, but you can follow along with whatever version you have, or you can just listen. Today we're going to read Psalms 74, 75, and 76, and then we're going to flip over to Romans chapter 9 and finish where we left off. So, with that said, being that I still have to get ready for church, we better be getting into this word. That's a good cup of coffee. Psalm 74. Y'all ready? Let's dive in. Oh God, why have you rejected us so long? Why is your anger so intense against the sheep of your own pasture? Remember that we are the people you chose long ago, the tribe you redeemed as your own special possession. And remember Jerusalem, your home here on earth. Walk through the awful ruins of the city. See how the enemy has destroyed your sanctuary. There, your enemies shouted their victorious battle cries. There, they set up their battle standards. They swung their axes like woodcutters in a forest. With axes and picks, they smashed the carved paneling. They burned your sanctuary to the ground. They defiled the place that bears your name. Then they thought, let's destroy everything. So they burned down all the places where God was worshipped. We no longer see your miraculous signs. All the prophets are gone, and no one can tell us when it will end. How long, O God, will you allow our enemies to insult you? Will you let them dishonor your name forever? Why do you hold back your strong right hand? Unleash your powerful fist and destroy them. You, O God, are my king from ages past, bringing salvation to the earth. You split the sea by your strength and smashed the heads of the sea monsters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan and let the desert animals eat him. You caused the springs and streams to gush forth, and you dried up rivers that never run dry. Both day and night belong to you. You made the starlight and the sun. You set the boundaries of the earth, and you made both summer and winter. See how these enemies insult you, Lord? A foolish nation has dishonored your name. Don't let these wild beasts destroy your turtle doves. Don't forget your suffering people forever. Remember your covenant promises, for the land is full of darkness and violence. Don't let the downtrodden be humiliated again. Instead, let the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, O God, and defend your cause. Remember how these fools insult you all day long. Don't overlook what your enemies have said or their growing uproar. 75. We thank you, O God. We give thanks because you are near. People everywhere tell of your wonderful deeds. God says, at the time I have planned, I will bring justice against the wicked. No, he said, at the time I have planned, I will bring justice to the wicked. Not at the time you have planned. You want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans. Oh, I guarantee God has a great sense of humor. I'm sure he gets a kick out of us all the time telling him our plans. He said, at the time I have planned, I will bring justice against the wicked. When the earth quakes and its people live in turmoil, I am the one who keeps its foundations firm. I warned the proud, stop your boasting. I told the wicked, don't raise your fists. Don't raise your fist in defiance at the heavens or speak with such arrogance. Ooh. Don't raise your fist in defiance at the heavens or speak with such arrogance. Because who are you? God created you. You didn't create him. You don't get to just talk to him any kind of way. For no one on earth, from east to west, or even from the wilderness, should raise a defiant fist. It is God alone who judges. He decides who will rise and who will fall. For the Lord holds a cup in his hand that is full of foaming wine mixed with spices. He pours out the wine in judgment, and all the wicked must drink it, draining it to the dregs. But as for me, I will always proclaim what God has done. I will sing praises to the God of Jacob, for God says, I will break the strength of the wicked, but I will increase the power of the godly. Yes, indeed. I will always proclaim what God has done. Like, God has moved in my life in such an incredible, amazing way. Man, I wouldn't be here without God. It's all God. So, God is honored in Judah. His name is great in Israel. Jerusalem is where he lives. Mount Zion is his home. There he has broken the fiery arrows of the enemy, the shields and swords and weapons of war. You are glorious and more majestic than the everlasting mountains. Our boldest enemies have been plundered. They lie before us in the sleep of death. No warrior could lift a hand against us. At the blast of your breath, O God of Jacob, their horses and chariots lay still. No wonder you are greatly feared. Who can stand before you when your anger explodes? From heaven you sentenced your enemies. The earth trembled and stood silent before you. You stand up to judge those who do evil, O God, and to rescue the oppressed of the earth. Human defiance only enhances your glory, for you use it as a weapon. Make vows to the Lord your God and keep them. Let everyone bring tribute to the Awesome One. For he breaks the pride of princes, and the kings of the earth fear him. It says, make vows to the Lord your God and keep them. Like, you know, I've taken a vow with God of celibacy until if he chooses to send me a husband. If he doesn't, I'm okay with that. I'll remain celibate until I die. I'll remain celibate till he calls me home. And I've done very good at keeping this this vow. And I'll continue to keep it. I'm not going to break that. I'm not going to let anything cause me to break that. I won't allow myself to be in situations that could cause me the temptation that might lead to me breaking that vow. You know, you gotta, it's like you don't want God to make a promise to you and then break his promise, right? So you shouldn't make a promise to him and not keep your promise. It's like the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat God the way you want him to treat you. You know? Yeah. So make vows to the Lord your God and keep them. Let everyone bring tribute to the Awesome One, for he breaks the pride of princes, and the kings of the earth fear him. Don't make a promise to God that you can't keep. Think about what you're about to say before you say it. Yeah. Because God already knows in advance. God knows. Can't be trying to pull the wool over God's eyes. He already knows. He's God. All right. Let's flip over to Romans chapter 9. Romans chapter 9. We're going to pick up on verse 17. Romans chapter 9, verse 17. Give y'all a minute to get there. Man. I think this is the best cup of coffee I've had all weekend. Romans chapter 9 verse 17. Here we go. For the scriptures say that God told Pharaoh, I have appointed you for the very purpose of displaying my power in you and to spread my fame throughout the earth. So you see, God chooses to show mercy to some, and he chooses to harden the hearts of others so they refuse to listen. Well then, you might say, why does God blame people for not responding? Haven't they simply done what he makes them do? No, don't say that. Who are you, a mere human being, to argue with God? Should the thing that was created say to the one who created it, why have you made me like this? When a potter makes jars out of clay, doesn't he have a right to use the same lump of clay to make one jar for decoration and another to throw garbage into? In the same way, even though God has the right to show his anger and his power, he is very patient with those on whom his anger falls, who are destined for destruction. He does this to make the riches of his glory shine even brighter on those to whom he shows mercy, who were prepared in advance for glory. And we are among those whom he selected, both from the Jews and from the Gentiles. Concerning the Gentiles, God says in the prophecy of Hosea, those who were not my people, I will now call my people. And I will love those whom I did not love before. And then at the place where they were told, you are not my people, they will be called children of the living God. That's us. And concerning Israel, Isaiah the prophet cried out, though the people of Israel are as numerous as the sand of the seashore, only a remnant will be saved. For the Lord will carry out his sentence upon the earth quickly and with finality. And Isaiah said the same thing in another place. If the Lord of heaven's armies had not spared a few of our children, we would have been wiped out like Sodom, destroyed like Gomorrah. What does all this mean? Even though the Gentiles were not trying to follow God's standards, they were made right with God. And it was by faith that this took place. But the people of Israel who tried so hard to get right with God by keeping the law never succeeded. Why not? Because they were trying to get right with God by keeping the law, instead of by trusting in him. They stumbled over the great rock in their path. God warned them of this in the scriptures when he said, I'm placing a stone in Jerusalem that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall. But anyone who trusts in him will never be disgraced. And and God does. He places speed bumps in our paths. He puts rocks in our paths. He wants to see, are you going to stumble and fall, or are you going to keep your faith? You're going to keep going? You're going to keep pushing through with me, man? Or are you going to fall off the bandwagon, or are you going to keep on riding it out with me? Like, I cannot tell you how many stumbling blocks have been in my path. And yes, I have fallen a few times. But scripture also says that we'll fall 7 times, but we get back up 8, It ain't about the fall. It's about the get back up part. That's what it's about. Do you still have faith even after you stumbled? Are you going to keep pushing forward until you don't stumble no more? God doesn't expect perfection from us. He expects us to come with a willing and hungry, desirous heart. He expects us to love him like he loves us. He expects us to give it our best shot. He wants us to come to him as we are. We don't have to fix ourselves up before we come to God. We come to him first, and he does the work. He knows we're human. He knows we have problems. He knows that, You know, we're never going to be all the way perfectly right, but he loves us and he gives us the opportunity to get right with him. Where's your faith at? Where does your faith lie? Me personally, my faith lies with the one who created me. He could just as easily could take me out. So, anyways, I hope y'all have a blessed and beautiful day. Remember, if you want to see a change, you have to be a change. We lead by example. We follow by design. If it ain't a God thing, it ain't a good thing. Y'all keep me lifted in your prayers. I'll keep you lifted in mine. If you have a special prayer request, please leave it below in the comments, and I will add you to my prayer list. And other than that, y'all have a blessed and beautiful rest of the day. And don't forget to love like Jesus. See y'all next time.